Hi, I'm Cyber Art and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a speed paint of the Valkyries from A Core of Silver Flames. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my process and then I'll talk a bit about the book and what I thought about it. So starting off with this drawing, I want to capture like a cute little moment of the Valkyries and their like Illyrian leathers and stuff like that. Doing this in Procreate, by the way. And yeah, I'll kind of go into what I thought about the book. At first, I'm telling you, I was not a really big fan of Nesta. I don't think a lot of people were. And then I didn't know that the last book was going to be just about Nesta's point of view. Coming out of what was the book before it? Ooh, it was the blue one. I read like the short novella one. That one, I was like, it was kind of whatever. Like there wasn't really much like plot. It was really just about like the characters and like winter solstice, which was fine. I didn't care too much for it. But with Court of Silver Flames, when I first found out it was from Nesta's perspective, I was not like, I was like, oh, like this is entire book with like Nesta. But I kind of got around to it, I guess. To preface, before I start, I might go into a little bit of spoilers, not plot heavy spoilers or anything like that, but just a little light spoilers. But yeah, when around the middle of the book is, I guess, not really the middle, early in the book, I kind of realized, okay, we're kind of learning more about Nesta and I'm kind of starting to like understand her character more, because at first like I didn't really get her character being so mean for like to like people that like for no reason, like, you know, like I just didn't get it. But yeah, I definitely came around to Nessa by the end of the book. Like I definitely did, and I think she definitely redeemed herself in some respect. But starting off, like I just didn't really, I guess, like I realized while reading books, like just because you wouldn't handle a situation that way does not need to, it doesn't need to annoy you that much reading it in a book, because these are what these characters would do, not what you would do. And I don't know why I think like that. But when Nesta got sent to the House of Wind or whatever, when Feyre sent her, I'm like, what is Feyre doing? Because like I could never, I'm like, why is Feyre telling her what Nesta should do, where she's gonna go, how she's gonna act? Yes, like Nesta didn't have money, like this is all Feyre. Like Feyre is the one that really is in control of her sisters' lives there. But I think about that in like day to day, like if my sister or my best friend, like yeah, they're going through some rough times in their life and they're really not coping in healthy ways, I don't see myself interjecting and telling them what they should or shouldn't do to the degree that Feyre did. But obviously this is a fantasy book, it's not real, and Feyre was really more in control of her sisters, which is kind of weird, because she's kind of subjecting her to go to this place and learn what she has to learn. Yeah, she can leave at any time, but what is she going to do? She has nothing. And telling her that she has to do this away from everyone else. And it kind of gave Tam Tam vibes. It gave Tam Tam vibes. It gave Tamlin vibes. I don't know, because like when he subjected her to stay in the house and not go out because it's dangerous, and you know she has to do just this and staying in that house, it kind of gave that vibe. But maybe I was just like reading it wrong. But I still really like Rhys and Feyre as characters. I think they do make some like questionable decisions. Like, but then I'm like, they could do what they want. But the thing is, their questionable decisions will always affect the people around them. And I think that's what's a little weird about some decisions they make, or like they didn't think through. Like, but anyway, I really like the element in this story of Nesta finding her people, finding her friends, because it made me think about so much of my two closest friends and how much like nothing is more fulfilling than a friendship with the woman in your life. And I think it's so powerful if you know, I don't know. I've seen like Brittany Broski talking about it, and it just reminded me like, yeah, like I'm so grateful for my female friendships. Those are such unique and special relationships that, you know, it's, I don't know, there's something special about it. I can't explain. And I think this book really made me think of my two closest friends and really appreciate sleepovers and friendship bracelets and all that. And I love how friends can be so warm and emotional and accepting to each other and so understanding. And I'm just like, I think this book really puts that into perspective of like having a strong friendship with two people that really, really care about, you know, each other deeply. And you can understand their trauma, see through it, and work through it together. Like, you're never really alone when you have friends like that. Yeah. So this book was pretty good, honestly. I would say that I think my favorite is, I know everyone say, what is it, Wings and Fury? The second one? Everyone's favorite is the second one. But I don't know. I think this might be my favorite one. And I did really like the original ACOTAR as well. I don't think I can choose. But Wings and Ruin is not my favorite. I will say that right now. Wings and Ruin was not my favorite. It wasn't my favorite, but yeah, I don't know. I really like this last one. So I'm going to go a little bit into my process of how I kind of did this painting, which I think I'm starting to really get down a pattern of how my workflow looks like. I really start with my darkest colors and I build on that. Usually when I start with my faces, I start with like a very dark base color, and then I'll like kind of airbrush like a circle, kind of like I'll airbrush the lightness of what I want like the real base skin tone to be, so that it kind of has that effect of that gradient effect of like, yeah, this is the lightest point on the face and it's going down to like the darkest on the edges sort of thing. And then I kind of work it out from there. I also think that adding a little bit of color to the high points, like the highlights in a character's face, is like, it gives it this kind of depth I can't explain. Like in one of my paintings, I did like a painting of the two characters from the book Bride. I don't know if y'all read that book. It's really good, and I might just upload that painting as well. But in that book, I'll go into it when I make the video, but what I'm saying is practically like to bring out the vibrancy of a character's face in the highlights. I'll go in with like a really bright pink tone, or even like a really like bright green that's very like almost like a whitish type of green or whitish type of blue, and do that at the high points of the character's face. And I think that it just really it gives something to the painting I just can't explain. Yes. And then at the very end of my paintings, I usually will do a multiply layer and a color dodge layer. So my main layer is just kind of like my flat, and here you can see like I just am adding the multiply layer. It just adds that added depth on top of what you already painted, and you just don't have to go too strong with it. And then adding a color dodge layer to it, it just brings that little added lightness to what you already painted, and I think it just kind of brings it together. So this is the end here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.